On April 20th, 2010, I was blessed with the opportunity to go to the Hsi Lao Buddhist Temple in Hacienda Heights. I interviewed Ven Miao Hsi about the practice of Buddhism to further my knowledge on the search for the similarities of religion. Tonks, and today I'm here with
That's my Venerable Miao Hsi.
Ven Miao Hsi.
Yeah, Venerable. Yeah, that's my title. It's like reference.
Oh, okay, it's a reference. Okay, cool. And I'm just going to ask you a few questions, as we know, and I just want you to answer them however you want.
Mm-hmm.
So to you, what is life in general? What is it?
From a Buddhist perspective, life it's coming together of conditions. The human life that we know that we're born in this human world, in this human realm as a human being, and with this physical life of ours, we have whatever years we have, and we would want to make the best use of this lifespan, this lifetime, to create positive conditions for ourselves and for others, and to practice goodness in general.
Okay, that's amazing. So just life in general is about doing good, right? So for what's the purpose of life then? What do you try to gain in this life or do?
As a Buddhist, we live I would say that we believe. Okay, as a Buddhist, believe that life never dies. It's just this physical body of ours that dies. Life carries on, taking on a different form. So we have lived many lives before, and we're living this life in this moment, this lifetime, and we will live many more lives in the future. So while we are here, while we are conscious of what we're doing, we should be, like I said before, doing positive things, doing wholesome things, help others, and actually in the process of helping others, in the course of helping others, we're actually helping ourselves. We also improve, we also learn. So life is, maybe you've heard it before, it's a lifelong learning experience.
Uh-huh. So you'd say, in general, it's something that never ends. It's an eternal circle, right? So the things we do now are going to affect whatever happens forever, right?
Well, that's the concept of karma.
Okay.
Karma means actually actions or deeds. Mm-hmm. And karma is not just this lifetime. Karma it's very intricate, and it's from past lifetimes, and it's this lifetime, and it's future lifetimes. Okay, it's not, well, say we call it instant karma. It's just like we refer to the law of causality. It's cause and effect. It's like you turn the switch off, the lights go off. That's instant, right?
Yeah.
But there are a lot of things that we don't know, what the effect would be and how it would take place. Maybe this lifetime, maybe the next lifetime, many lifetimes down the road.
Okay. That's great. I think that's amazing that you have that aspect or that view on life of how it's forever changing and how we need to develop too.
Yes.
So what's the Buddhist view on what is the soul?
Well, the Christian concept of a soul can be kind of, I would say, related to. Excuse me, I'm a bit allergic.
Oh, sorry.
It's what we call the consciousness.
Mm-hmm.
The consciousness, however, consciousness is impermanent. We can change it. We can get rid of the unwholesomeness. We can, what we say, purification of the mind or purify the mind, and that's different from the Christian soul.
So in Buddhism, if I understood you right, in Buddhism, the soul is more of your conscious, right? Or I know in Christianity, the soul is what was before and kind of is now, right? It's kind of in the body.
I think that for Christianity, a soul is everything's given to you by God.
Okay, yeah, that's right. So for Buddhists, then where do we come from? Where did you start? Like, if you're here in this life, was there a life before, or is there?
Yeah, we believe we lived many lives before, because it's what we call samsara, the cycle of living and dying. We keep being born, and we die. Once we're born, we die, and then we take up another form, maybe another, maybe not a human, maybe somewhere else, maybe in heaven, maybe hell, maybe, depends on what we do, okay? And life just carries on. So we don't know, because at birth, we will forget where we come from, okay? And then when we die, we don't know where we're going, okay? So that's why in Buddhist practice, we're tired, we're sick and tired of this cycle of being born and then die again, and then born again and die again. So we say liberation. Liberation is to break away, okay, from this cycle of birth and death.
Of suffering, right?
Of suffering. And hopefully, over practice, over many, many lives, many, many years, we can get out of the cycle. Okay. And that's the time we say when then we could be the master of our birth. I can choose to be born in a place that I can be to help.
Okay.
Okay, it's not to have fun. Okay, but it's the whole concept is to help all beings to be liberated.
Okay, and so in doing so, the suffering cycle that you're saying, how we're here now suffering, is that do we have the suffering so we can learn to break that cycle? Is that why we have it?
Well, suffering is a reality. Actually, maybe you've read enough about Buddhism that you mentioned suffering. Suffering actually comes from the word dukkha. Dukkha is a Sanskrit word, and dukkha is very loosely translated as suffering because actually dukkha means unsatisfactoriness. Okay, we cannot be satisfied permanently, or our happiness won't last. That's why we call it suffering. Okay, so that's the concept, and it's because we recognize this, we want to break away from it. We want to be liberated from it, actually.
Okay. And one more thing, are there certain practices you do to become liberated from the suffering?
Well, we need to do endless goodness, to keep
doing
upgrading ourselves in a sense, okay, improving ourselves.
Because I know I've read some things about Buddhism. There's meditation and there's...
Those are skills.
Those are skills.
Those are skills. Meditation is a skill to help us calm ourselves and to observe our thoughts so that we can be mindful of what we're doing.
Okay.
Mindfulness is a very important practice in Buddhism because if we are mindful of of our actions, of our thoughts, of our speech, then in everyday life we can make better decisions. And in the course of our practices, then we would make the right choice to do better things, and then we would know. If I'm very mindful of what I'm thinking, then I know, what am I thinking now? Why am I doing this? Why am I saying this? What is my intention?
Okay.
Intention is very important.
Yeah. I just have two more questions for you. How in Buddhism, how important is the family?
Well, it's important because it's people around us, depending on how you interpret family, right? So it's people around us, people who are closest to us, maybe blood relations, maybe not, okay? And nowadays people talk about family very loosely. Yeah. Or sometimes they consider themselves having no family, But it's people who are connected to us. If we recognize the interconnectedness between people, back to the concept of karma, like say we share a lot of karma. Right this moment we are sharing the karma of being in this room, talking to one another. We share the karma of being living here right in Southern California. Good or bad, okay, we're here, we breathe the same air, that's the karma we share. So in a smaller scale is our family. We share the karma of being a family, so hopefully we make the best of it. Okay. We help one another.
I like that a lot. I like the idea that we're all family.
Yeah, we are all related one way or another. We are all interconnected at least.
Okay. I just have one more question for you. I know in Christianity they believe in a god or a deity. Is there, in Buddhism, is there a god or is there a deity?
Well, Buddhism came from the word Buddha, actually, right? But the Buddha never said, hey, I'm going to set out to found a religion called Buddhism. Yeah. Buddha, the word Buddha in Sanskrit means the enlightened one, the awakened one. And it's just the teachings that the Buddha taught that people eventually call it Buddhism, or it's a religion. And some people consider Buddhism not exactly a religion. It's also a life philosophy. It's also a way of life, a way of practice, okay? So the word Buddhism or God or Buddha is not an equivalent of God. Buddha is a teacher, basically. Buddha is a person who is so wise, has so much wisdom because he became enlightened to the truth of how things are. What we call the truth of the universe is actually how things are, how things work. So he wants to tell us, to show us how he can also, how he did it, and how we can also be like him. The Buddha said everybody has a potential to become a Buddha. We all have the Buddha nature. It depends on our choice. Do we want to discover our Buddha nature, and then become a Buddha as well? Okay. The enlightenment is there, but do we know how to find it? it's, do we want to take up the responsibility, you know, to improve, to be wise, okay? So it's not a God. Well, we recognize God. Actually, Buddha said there are God. There are many, many gods. There are many, many deities. Okay, so the Buddha said, you have your choice. You want to be a God? You want to be a deity? You want to be a human? Practice. And depending on how well you practice, how hard do you work.
You could be a Buddha. Be enlightened, right?
Yep.
All right, thank you so much for your time. It was seriously, it was a pleasure.
Okay.
I feel like I learned a lot. Thank you so
much. Well, we have classes. You can come here for classes.
I want to come and do some
classes. We have classes on Sunday. Okay.
All right, sounds good.
Okay.
Thank you so much.
All right, you're welcome.